So you don't see us foregoing those payments like some of the cities have done. We've budgeted the full service on those things.
I just thought it was kind of interesting how small numbers add up. Like street lights cost 46 cents a day to run a street light, but altogether at the end of the year it's $589,000. So.
Yeah, it is kind of an interesting thing when you begin to look at it. When we've done some cost analysis, it costs about $1.25 per residential unit to pay for the streetlight program.
Yeah, when we're doing this analysis
on the vehicle maintenance fund, that's all departments contributing.
That's correct.
And we didn't have that broken down as to what Warren's department would be contributing to that overall fund.
Well, the general fund contributes into this one, and Warren is just one of the each one of those programs that has vehicles. They pay a certain amount into that fund for their maintenance of there. So it's in each budget.
Okay. And I wanted to, I had it on my list here also, just kind of piggyback on what the mayor said also, and maybe Warren can explain if he has an opportunity. What are his needs? Does he have a particular need in the city that we should be taking a look at? If there is some expense that needs to be fulfilled before it becomes a more costly item, is it something that we should take a look at right now? No, we're all budget minded right now, and we want to keep that ad valorem tax as low as we can. We want to keep our rates, affordable for our citizens, but we can't let things slide also. So is there a particular need, and maybe Warren could address that also.
Well, you will hear something consistent across the board is infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Okay. What you will also hear consistently is that when we started out several years ago in our street resurfacing program, and I'll just use that one as an example, is that we had a target date of 15 years for a residential street, 18 years for arterial collector types of streets. And Warren will be able to expound on that, how that number has moved significantly over the past several years. And one of the items that we've also seen movement is the movement down in the amount of gasoline tax that we have received in order to maintain that. The same thing that we can be talking about the miles of drainage pipe versus the amount that we are relining. All of those items are out there, and so you will hear that consistently being discussed throughout our budgeting process, because some of those items are very much hidden cost because people don't see them, and because a lot of it's underground, a lot of it is just where it is. But you will hear us talk about those items. The other items that you will probably hear, and I'll let him expound on it a little bit more, is when you get into the frequencies. For example, how often are we getting into being able to actually go in and clean catch basins? How often are we going to be able to go in and clean the ditches? All of those items have dramatically changed in over the period of time since 2004, really. But those are some of the items that we really need to, if you were talking to me from the big picture standpoint, is that's part of the infrastructure that is unseen, but when they don't work, everybody notices. But I'll let him talk specifically. Those are just general comments.
Because he has some of the equipment that Warren uses could be fairly expensive.
Absolutely. When you start talking about